What's going on, everyone? And this is the Boot Breakdown. Thank y'all for joining us. And now I pass it on to my good friend Jordan Taylor.
Well, welcome aboard, ladies and gentlemen. It is week 6 recap here on a Sunday afternoon, and had a very special guest this evening. Excited to see this man's face for the first time since I seen him in the Grove back in the second round of the playoffs. So, welcome, my friend. What's going on?
Man, nothing too much. Everything's pretty good right now. Trying to again juggle all this good sports action and teaching and everything. And we're right in the thick of football season. I'm excited for it.
Speaking of good sports, you got some contenders down there in that Sinlow area, don't you?
Yeah, we really do. I mean, you still look at what Alexandria has did. I know that unfortunately they took a loss this past week against West Monroe, but they're still strong as ever. But you also got to look at teams like Bunkie. You have to look at what Gina's been able to do so far this season. So a lot of great action here, and these next couple of weeks here is really going to shape up to be some really good action coming up.
Real quick before we pass it over to JB, introduce yourself to everyone that's watching for the first time that may not know who you are, the area you cover, and the affiliation where they can find all your work.
All right, so my name is Lamar Gafford. I am one of the main guys who runs Sinlot Preps along with my guy Alex Newell. So we both do that here for the Central Louisiana region. I also get a chance to cover for the sporting news all of Louisiana. So basically, getting all the athlete of the week polls and all that different type of stuff up as well. I'm from Northwest Louisiana. I'm from Shreveport, Louisiana. I also went to college up there in Monroe. So I pretty much know a lot about North Louisiana sports and everything.
Absolutely. JB, speaking of contenders, my goodness, do you got a lot of them from the New Orleans area?
Oh, do we have a lot? I mean, number one, Edna Carr. We can't use to Edna Carr. St. Augustine is up there. You have John Curtis. You have Archbishop Shaw. I mean, it's the list is long. South Plaquemines, you can't forget about them also. The list is long for contenders in New Orleans, but we'll see who has the wherewithal to get to the Superdome come December.
It's going to be a great stretch to the playoffs. It's going to be a phenomenal playoff bracket, and I know you guys are excited when we get there, but we still got four more weeks of play where before we get to that point. So let's slow things down and make sure we enjoy this great football that's unfolding right in front of us.
Most definitely.
Guys, you got to get a chance to see some scores from around the state of Louisiana. You got to see some big time matchups in your area this week. Let's give your thoughts on week 6 in the entirety of what you take away from a week 6. We'll start with you, JB.
All right. So Thursday night, I got to see Edna Carr versus Brother Martin, and Edna Carr jumped on him so fast. I thought Edna Carr would win big, but I didn't think it would happen so fast. I mean, halftime was 35-0. That was the halftime score. John Johnson had rushed for 3 touchdowns. He didn't even throw a touchdown pass until the second half. He rushed for 3 touchdowns. Trey Garrison rushed for 1. Edna Carr just dominated on both sides of the ball. You think of Brother Martin with the weapons they have in Easton Royal, Rex LeBlanc, and Warren Lipscomb, and they weren't able to do anything at all. Now, Easton Royal had a viral moment with his one-handed touchdown catch over Aiden Hall and another defensive back for Edna Carr, which was number 2 this morning on You Got Mossed on ESPN.
Come on.
Yes. So he had that happen. But other than that, Edna Carr is they're just so dominant on both sides of the ball right now, man. It's gonna be hard for any team to beat them. And the Jesuit Blue Jays have them next. And I was going to that next. Also had Jesuit versus St. Augustine. And Jesuit kept it close in the first half, down by 11. But they had trouble stopping St. Augustine's passing game. They could not stop their passing game and all. Sean Coulon threw for over 400 yards, finding his receivers in Miguel Whitley and Raekwon Williams, and also for Sean Sims, finding them mostly. Jesuit had a hard time stopping the pass against those guys. And Jesuit's a good team. They're a good team, but was just outmatched due to not being able, like I said, not being able to stop the pass.
Let's go to your area. What did you get a chance to see up close and personal, or what really stood out to you from the Cenla area this week? What did you get a chance to see, and what stood out to you?
I got a chance to see Peabody against Grant, and so it was a pretty exciting matchup. I really wanted to see what the horses would do here. Obviously, basically after the adversity that they had to face with the cancellation of their homecoming game, and they really stood out in winning that game against Grant. But the other guy I really wanted to see too was Ahmad Sykes, who in week 1 had rushed for 10 touchdowns, and he had 420 yards on the ground against Montgomery. And he has been really lighting everything up. And he had himself a big game against Peabody. He had 390 yards, 4 touchdowns in the matchup. But Peabody has a very good tandem here. Jonathan Hargrove and also David Newton. They scored 7 touchdowns between each other. Newton had 5 TDs, and the horses were able to win that game 54-41. So overall, great game with that one. But we had also some other good high scoring games too. Gina, I mean, that was an incredible matchup that they had against Marksville, where I think Cedric Wilson had himself 4 touchdowns and also rushed for over 200 yards. But also you have Devin Lavalley, who had, I think, looked like a total of about 350 yards and also 6 total touchdowns all the way through in that matchup. So you have a great matchup there. And of course, the Ash game against West Monroe, that was another good matchup there too. So all the way through, there wasn't a shortage of points being scored in those matchups. And also another one was Menard getting a chance to come back against a good Oakdale squad, being down 20-0, but were able to win 22-20.
Okay. Speaking of points, Thursday night we got to see 94 combined between St. John and North Iberville. It was excitement to get down there for the very first time, to see the brand new stadium at North Iberville and cover North Iberville and St. John for the very first time. And boy, did the game live up to the hype. 94 combined points, 50-44 was the final score. North Iberville moves to 6-0 on the year. And if you have not seen BJ Malonson yet, go check out some of the highlights from that game. The junior is really special, and the best is yet to come for him. That one came down to a late touchdown run from the quarterback, and then the fourth quarter, and then the defense had to go make a play, and then a bad snap on 4th down. They never got a chance to get the throw off, so turnover on downs. North Iberville walks away 6-0. That's the game I got to cover on Thursday night. And then Friday night, it was homecoming for the Abbeville Wildcats. Abbeville has a 10-3 record over the last 6 years when we've covered them on the broadcast. So you knew there was an opportunity for them to walk away with a win because of how good they've been since when we were in town. And a good offensive night, good defensive night, and even special teams set up some big time plays for them. So they walk away with a 24-16 victory. They were up for a majority of that game, and then a kick return touchdown got Mamu back in the game. They climbed back, and I think it was like a 7-minute drive that closed it out in the fourth quarter, where they didn't even give Mamu a chance to get the football back. So hats off to Abbeville. They broke the losing streak a week ago, and now they're on a 2-game winning streak. So kudos to the staff. An interim head coach over there right now took over a week ago, and seems like the staff has rallied together, and those kids are playing with some confidence, and it's good to see them in the locker room excited right now to play football. So kudos to Abbeville getting a win Friday night.
Definitely. Jordan, I want to stop you right quick because Austin has a question, and I think we could direct this to Lamar, and he's asking, is Tioga the most underrated team in the state?
definitely would say so. I mean, a lot of people didn't think that they would be, myself included. I mean, a lot of people who, if you were to ask us to say that if they were 5-1 at this point, I would have been a little bit of skeptical here. But they've definitely have done a solid job this season. It all started off with their season against Sterlington, where I felt like that was a moral victory. That was their only loss so far this season, and they were able to start off with a halftime lead. I think that caught a lot of people's attention at that point. And then so far now, winning these last 5 games, including winning against Gina, that definitely has really done a solid job. So shout out to those guys there. That think we gave them some bulletin board material because we started off the season when we were ranking them. They were number 11, and so that's kind of been their rallying cry so far and everything. But so far, they've done a solid job. They love their new coach, Dan Chrisman. He has been with the program together, and he's just such of a likable guy there that they really would like to play hard for him and everything. So kudos to them as always.
Who poses the biggest threat in that district to Tioga right now?
I think it's going to be Franklin Parish. Obviously, I mean they're the best team in that district. I mean, you look at Pook Ellis. I mean, he's definitely one of the most outstanding players there, and I definitely think that again, FP has a good chance of probably winning that district. You also look at West Washita, who Tioga has this week. I think West Washita finished second place in that district last year, and so that's going to be a statement game for Tioga to see if they can get themselves a win there. If they beat them, that Week 10 matchup between Franklin Parish and Tioga is going to be for all the marbles there. But I definitely think that I still have to say Franklin Parish. I think they're the best team in that district, mainly because of the guys and the athletes that they have.
Okay. Anybody, real quick, JB? Any teams right now? I know we start to lean towards looking to power rankings as we get to the back stretch of the season. Any of those teams from the Cenlo area really cracking the top 10, top 5, or even maybe in the top 1 spot right now?
Right now, Gina.
Oh, go ahead, Lamar. Sorry, go ahead, Lamar.
So sorry about that. Right now, Gina's number 1 in I think in Division 3 non-select. So right now they're the top team in there. I think Tioga's somewhere in the top 10, and also I think that Ash is somewhere in the top 10 as well. So a lot of good teams there. Like I said, can't wait to see what it shakes down with.
I think if Ash finishes out 9-1, I think you can see Ash in the top 5.
Yeah, Tioga's sitting at 8 right now. And let's see, Ash is coming in to this week at 10. So, all right, JB, let's go to your neck of the woods. Rummel beats Warren Easton 28-14. After the way Warren Easton played a week ago, almost locking off John Curtis, you thought they had an opportunity to come in here and get one on Rummel, but Rummel rushing attack too much, isn't it?
It is. It was too much. If you watch the Curtis game against Warren Easton, second half, you saw John Curtis get big plays by running to the outside. They stopped running the dive up the middle. They started going to the outside with their runs, and they got big plays off of that. Rummel had 6 plays of 30 yards or more. That right there is what pretty much proved to be the most decisive point parts of this game. Their running back Terrace, Jaden Terrace rushed for 168 yards, 2 touchdowns of 36 and 35 yards. So right there, that tells you how the running game was able to work against Warren Easton. And then you got to give credit to their defense because Warren Easton is a great running team, especially with the 2 running backs that they have. And you just held them scoreless for pretty much the entire game until late in the 4th quarter where they were able to get 14 points. Says a lot about your defense.
Lamar, if not comfortable with the New Orleans, I'm gonna flip things back to North Louisiana if that's where y'all want to do this.
I feel pretty good about New Orleans, so I can go ahead and
go ahead,
speak
sir.
here. So yeah, I mean, I guess so far you look at what everything has been. I mean, obviously, Carr has been one of the top teams in the state so far this season, and they've been in my rankings for the state number one all the way since the preseason, and they definitely have shown that so far. Outside of that, it's just been kind of very interesting to see how everything has kind of shaping up to be right now. To me, I feel like Curtis is probably the second best team. Again, I think that matchup, once we get down to it, I think that's in week 9. Am I correct, JB?
Um, Curtis and Carr is week 9, Halloween night. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, week 9. I think that's going to be an amazing matchup to see what can happen there. But also, you look at the other teams in the New Orleans area. You look at what St. August done so far this season. You look at the whole Catholic League so far this season. So just a lot of good things out there. Also, Shaw. You see what they've also done so far, and it's kind of been very interesting to rank these teams because this is the first time I've had to do something like this for all the different classes. But I've gotten all my homework in, and it's gotten an opportunity for me to kind of get a little bit of that. But I love it. I definitely enjoy it.
West Monroe proven win over Catholic of Baton Rouge is no fluke, with the win over previous unbeaten Alexandria this week, 34-31. Your thoughts on West Monroe getting the win over Alexandria this week? No fluke a few weeks ago.
Yeah, no fluke. I mean, dare I say, West Monroe might be back. I mean, I think that they're probably back, honestly. And getting the chance to talk about it here on Friday, and also with somebody else here, I just think that overall, what Coach Dicer is doing with that program is putting that stamp of West Monroe and how they have been in the past. I mean, growing up, well, Bird was in the same district with West Monroe. When before they had the streak that they had, we were the last team to beat them in the district. Before they started that 100 game streak of winning all their district games, and we felt like that we won a state championship at that time. And so for him to really put that excitement back for West Monroe, where I shouldn't say lean years because I mean they've been making like quarterfinal appearances and everything, but they haven't been West Monroe like what we have been accustomed to seeing them play for state championships and everything. I think that they're feeling pretty good about that themselves there, and they're one of those teams that's going to make 2-5A a dogfight there because from what I know, I think there's probably about 5 teams there that can really legitimately claim that they have a good shot of winning a district championship, but only one of them can do it. So they're firmly right in that picture right there.
Definitely. I watched the game early this morning. I got and watched it, and to me, the 2 turnovers from Alexandria early in the first half, and then that one very late in the fourth quarter, is what to me hurt their chances big time. A tie ball game, 31-31, and you fumble the ball inside your own 20 with like a minute and a few seconds left, and all West Monroe did was just run the ball and kick a field goal with 10 seconds left. And Alexandria went for a hook and ladder, but that didn't work, and West Monroe wins it. So it shows you right there that, because I said it also, Lamar, I said they might be back to the West Monroe that we know from years ago. And to be in this dogfight of a game with Alexandria and you find a way to win says a lot about what Coach Dizer and his staff are implementing into this football program of West Monroe.
I'm going to go back and forth here between areas of the state. Archbishop Shaw at home knocks off St. James 24-20. 2 teams with eyes on getting back to New Orleans had a collision course here in week 6.
Definitely. Archbishop Shaw was up 21-7 at halftime. I got a chance to speak to a couple of the coaches, and they were not happy with the second half performance. They felt as if they should have put this game away. They felt as if they should have won this game big. It didn't happen. They felt as if they had a bunch of defensive breakdowns from the players, not understanding assignments or whatever, which helped St. James get back. So the coaching staff from Shaw telling me that is something they're going to work on moving forward, and also they got to learn with this new offense that they got to continue to keep that foot on the pedal. Got to continue to keep forward. They can't get lackadaisical. They got to continue to go, put more points on the scoreboard. So Shaw felt as if they should have won by more. On the St. James side, Coach Davis is happy with the way his team fought. He said, we don't back down for no competition. We will play anybody. We're going to go back, look at film, and correct the mistakes that we made and continue to improve to get better and make that run towards the dome.
Tell you what, that was a big field goal late in the fourth to go up 2 scores right there, knowing how quickly St. James could score.
Yep.
Go ahead, Lamar.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and also say I think it was one of those iron sharpens iron type games where you have two teams that obviously went down to the Dome last season, Shaw winning theirs and St. James being down there for the second year in a row. And I think it's going to help those two teams go further. They both were kind of like somewhere in my sporting news rankings. I had Shaw at 24. I had St. James as one of my 5 teams on the outside looking in. And I definitely felt like, again, close game. I felt like that was going to be a very close game. Shaw coming away with the win there. That kind of helps them get a little bit momentum going forward. But we haven't seen the end of St. James there, and we know that they're able to play deep into the playoffs this season. They're going to give that Division III non-select bracket. They're going to give them a tough field there, and I wouldn't want to draw them in the bracket. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Back to North Louisiana, Dirty Red and Parkway outscore Airline 48-43 to remain undefeated. How fun is it to see KB Williams at the quarterback position for Parkway?
It's pretty good, and especially you look at the whole district in general has a lot of great quarterbacks. Pop Houston, Malachi Ziegler, the names just keep on going on and on and on, and that's the one thing you have to do in that Shreveport district: score points. And for Parkway to kind of be able to do that, it's going to set themselves up a pretty good matchup once they face against Evangel coming forward. And so I can't wait to hear about that matchup there. But for Parkway, I think we have to kind of look at them right now. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a spoiler. I'm thinking I'm going to probably put them somewhere in my 5 teams on the outside looking in there, mainly because of what they have done so far this season. And Parkway, I mean, they're not a joke. They're not a joke. They're continuing to do a very solid job. I like what they do over there. And like I said, that matchup between them and Evangel is going to be an interesting matchup once we get down to that.
Definitely. I mean, you got to give Coach Coy and his coaching staff a lot of credit with what they have done these past couple of years. Not just this year, but what he has built the past couple of years in Parkway. And Parkway was down 43-42. They get the touchdown to go up by 5, and then Peyton Rayner of Parkway stopped Matthew Moore of Airline 1 yard shy of them getting a first down to continue their drive, which ended the game. So, man, you got to give Parkway a lot of credit right now, and I'm looking forward to that matchup against Evangel coming up soon, man. But Parkway is looking real good for Parkway. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Parkway.
JB, you want a rock, paper, scissors to go do that game?
If I was off of work, yeah, definitely. But man, with work, nah, I'm gonna just stay back right now.
There you go. All right, here's a stunner. Prairieville stuns East Ascension 44-27. Who saw this one coming? New kids on the block? Well, they're ahead of schedule.
I agree. When I saw, I forgot the team they defeated last week. I know we talked about
they beat Walker a week ago.
Walker, yeah. When I saw that first, I was like, okay. But this one, I didn't see coming. I did not see coming. And the score, we talking about more than a 2 touchdown score that they defeated East Ascension by. So I was heavily shocked by that. I didn't see it happening, but this is why you play the game every Friday night or Thursday night now due to lack of officials, or maybe even a Saturday afternoon, Saturday morning. It depends. But I was shocked, and hey, if Prairieville can make the playoffs this year, it's gonna say a lot about their program for the job that they did this season, and it's gonna say a lot about them moving forward into the future.
We thought it was going to be an East Ascension Dutchtown district title game. Well, look at Prairieville the last 2 weeks.
Exactly.
Yeah, and as one of the commenters say here, they're growing up fast there, and that's for sure right now. I mean, they kind of remind me of what Southside has kind of gone through over the last couple of years and everything. They had to start off a little bit slow, but the thing is, you're starting off in the biggest classification of all, 5A. You're definitely going to take your lumps there, but once you kind of showcase yourself that you can win these ball games, that's going to attract more people, and especially once you look at that Baton Rouge region there, that you can be able to get a couple of guys there that can really be game changers. That's going to help out a whole lot. So Prairieville, shout out to them. We were kind of looking at them on the radio as far as when the score came through. I was a big shocker to me there, but for to see them grow up fast there and that one, they're making a statement right now. And this year they could make it to the playoffs, but next year, who knows? It could be even more here, and they're doing a good job. Just keep up the good work, guys.
We just talked about Airline and Parkway. Well, let's talk about two of the other counterparts in that district, Evangel and Captain Shreve. Two thrillers a year ago. So you thought this one had a shot to have similar implications this year. Evangel hangs 71 on the scoreboard as we see their defense hold Captain Shreve to 25. Talk to me about that one, Lamar.
Man, overall, just seeing it was close at first at halftime from when I saw it. I think it was like 28-19, and then Evangel was able to kind of pull away. I mean, it's just the power of Pop Houston. I mean, every single week he's on one of my top performance lists, and he's just throwing some crazy stats like 400 yards and 6 touchdowns and everything. And that's just the type of guy that he is and type of player that he is. And you look at what Captain Shreve was able to do with Jamarsa Plater, the Wake Forest commit. I think he had a decent game, but I think he was also hampered a little bit there. I think he was able to kind of play the whole game, but you can kind of tell that they were affected a little bit by it there. Captain Shreve is going to have themselves better days and everything. I know they got a big one against my bird Yellow Jackets in week 10, which I hope that they probably don't win that game there, but I think that they probably got a good chance of doing that because of the guys that they have and everything. But again, it just shows again that Evangel has been one of the cream of the crops of that district. What Pop has been able to do so far this season and grow from coming out there as a sophomore last year, where they were a respectable 6-6, but now to also now take the bull by the horns in their district there, it definitely says a lot there. Evangel's going to score a lot of points. They're definitely going to score a lot of points there, and that's going to be the thing there. I mean, you're going to have to be ready to be in a shootout if you face against them in the season.
I agree with everything Lamar said. I also said about Evangel, the two things that concerned me was the depth that they have on this team and if they can play defense. And right now, it looks like everyone on Evangel is pretty much healthy still, so that's a good sign. But if they can play defense like they did this past Friday night, that's going to be a scary team that can make a deep run. And when I say deep, I'm not just saying Thanksgiving week. I'm talking semifinals or state championship bound team if they can continue to play defense the way they did this past Friday night against Captain Shreve.
Okay. Back to your area. Hanville, not your area, but just South Louisiana.
Close
Hanville knocks off.
My family.
There you go. Hanville knocks off undefeated Thibodaux 34-20. Controversy call in this one.
Well, so I've talked about this type of call the whole year. I just don't like it. I think you're taking away from defensive players. Like, what are they supposed to do? They're not supposed to make a defensive play. Supposed to just let somebody catch the ball and then like, hey, you caught the ball. All right, now I got to tackle you. They can't hit somebody when they catching the ball and they hit him in the legal parts, like below the chest and everything. I just don't like it. And that wasn't even a hard hit from Thibodeau. It wasn't a hard hit. It was the slightest hit to where the ball just popped up. Thibodeau gets an interception and runs down the field and almost scores, but they threw the flag saying you're hitting a defensive receiver. I don't like it. I've seen it so many times. I just don't know what you want a defensive player to do. But moving forward from that, let's talk about the game itself. Hornville, I think, was up 10-6 at halftime, if I'm correct. Yes, 10-6 at halftime. So Hornville's second half surge to go up 31-6 is what really put the game away. Yes, they won 34-20. Thibodeau tried to make a little comeback, but Hornville second half surge put things together to put the ball game away after that.
It's going to be interesting going forward in that district too, because a good win for Hornville in that one too. I'm not saying anything about the referees because I know my my co-host when we were on the air on Friday got into a little bit of hot water about that. So you keep up the good work, referees. You're doing a great job and everything. But I just will say this, that that district is going to be interesting here going forward. And like you said here, I know Destrehan's been one of the more entertaining teams in that district, but the other teams in that district as well, there's a lot of good things to going forward there.
Moving back to North Louisiana we go. Ruston defeats Ouachita Parish 21-14. Ouachita Parish showed a lot of people around the state who they are this week. You look at this matchup in Ruston, block punt, scoop and score. Ahmad Hudson, a matchup nightmare, and a late interception in this one. The difference. Thoughts on this one, Lamar?
Yeah, good matchup here for Ruston. I think that was one of those get right games that they had needed to have after losing that one against Stephenville in week 5 there. Nice to see Ahmad back because he missed that week 5 game, and so for him to also come back out there and have a good impact, that's a huge thing right there. But I think for Ouachita, if you look at them this season, they've definitely shown that they can hang around in that district. I mean, you look at them starting off at 5-0, but they were in my number 22 on my rankings last week. Unfortunately, I may have to move them down this week here to outside looking in, but that's no slight to them. They've done a great job this season so far, and the Lions definitely have themselves a couple of guys that NJ Dade and also Montreal Connor, who definitely have done a solid job as their 1-2 punch this season. But Ruston continues to show why they're one of the top teams in that district, and they've been battle tested. They played a lot of the Texas teams. They played the Arkansas team so far this season, and anything you can basically throw at them, I mean, they've seen the pass the test right now, and so far, it starts off with them doing a pretty solid job in that district here. The gauntlet just keeps on coming for them there, but they're right now trying to answer the bell there.
Definitely. I was very intrigued by this game. I said earlier in the week, we will find out a lot about Ouachita Parish in this game. That was the first thing I said, because it was a lot of talk about Ouachita. It's so much improved, this and that. And I said, okay, I don't disagree with y'all. I don't disagree, but let's see what happens when they play Ruston. And it took a block punt for Ruston to win this game, a block punt. So now moving forward, I am very intrigued with the Ouachita Parish Lions. I will sit here and say they are for real. They are for real. And this district is one of the best districts in the state this year with the improvement of Ouachita and even West Monroe. So going forward, it's going to be a dogfight, like Lamar said, in this district. Ruston has Neville this week. So this is going to be quite interesting to watch this district moving forward, JT.
Absolutely. I'm going back to the River Parish. I'm going St. Charles survives late comeback attempt from Terrebonne to win it on the road 31-28. Talk to me about this one, JB.
Well, so Terrebonne had a 13-7 lead going into halftime, and the wheels fell off in the third quarter. St. Charles just took off. they took off. Had a 31-13 lead, I believe, or 31-14 lead. No, 31-13. 31-13. 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. That's when Terrebonne made their run, scored 2 touchdowns, got an onside kick, but just fell short at the end. So Terrebonne making it a game late in the fourth quarter, but St. Charles, who we know have a great defense, makes a last-minute stand to win that game over Terrebonne. Great ball game between the two.
Yeah, great ball game indeed, and Terrebonne has definitely shown themselves. I mean, unfortunately, these last 2 weeks here were losses and everything, but they've definitely have shown that they could be one of the top team, a solid team so far. St. Charles, though, I mean, definitely has been a team built on defense so far this season. Got themselves some big wins this year and all, and just to see what Coach Stein is over there doing. I mean, that's really amazing there to see what they've been able to do. I know last year was a tough start for them here, but looks like they're finding their footing. And like I said, I think they could also have themselves making a pretty deep run. I mean, with the defense they play, I mean that's going to be very beneficial for them going forward.
St. Charles Catholic has the #1 quarterback in the nation coming into town this Friday night. Legacy, Texas own Keyshawn Henderson.
Okay. Back to North Louisiana. You see a trend here, don't y'all?
Yep.
That means they had a lot of good games to talk about. Mangum, Faraday, plenty of offense in this one. Potentially the first of 2 meetings between these schools. 56-48 final. Mangum, they hosted the game on their field, but they were the road team in this contest because Faraday's field was not playable. Mangum, Faraday, first of 2 potential meetings this year, Lamar.
Yeah, I mean, I've been keeping up with this Faraday team a good bit since we kind of taken them a little bit into the area and everything. And the one thing that I really wanted to see what they could possibly be able to do in their district was, could they compete against the Mangums? Could they compete against Oak Grove? Could they compete against Washita Christian? And so far, they definitely shown that they could do that. Albeit on a loss there, they definitely have shown that they could do that there. One of their top receivers, I really have been high on him ever since his freshman year, Desmond Jefferson. I don't know what his stat line looked like in this game there, but I'm pretty sure he had a big one. He's been a primetime performer for sure. And overall, just kind of watching and seeing the maturation process that he is. He's a Southeastern commit, and showing what they can be able to do. Faraday is also one of those teams that can really score a lot of points there. And, Mangum definitely has been one of the teams that we've also kind of been following a little bit, especially in their matchups against Gina, which especially this year, that was a big back and forth matchup. A shame somebody had to lose that game, and especially for Faraday after everything that they're going through. And hopefully they can get their field and all that stuff situated there. But I think in the loss there, they've shown here that they could be able to really compete against some of those teams there. Unfortunately, I mean, like I said, after how last year ended for them, with their situation where they had to forfeit their second round game, that's a good step in the right direction for them. Again, another team that I wouldn't want to face against going forward once they get into the playoffs.
I tell you what, man, that was a hell of a ball game between those two. Back and forth game between both teams, and Mangum finding a way to come out on top with the victory. We know about Mangum, quarterfinal team from last season. Lamar mentioned it. Faraday had to forfeit the second round playoff game, and we won't get into that. So we didn't know much of what Faraday could have done in the playoffs, but going into this season and what you just saw, you can see that Faraday is a very, very good team, and you might not want them on your side of the bracket once the brackets come out.
Moving along with the show today. Denham Springs wins the Highway 16 Bowl. trophy after an offensive explosion, 63-34 win over Live Oak. I believe they said this is the most points they've scored since 2018. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but you gotta love rivalry games. But this one right here, Denham Springs put their foot on the gas pedal.
Oh, did they put their foot on the gas pedal? They they wanted that trophy back at Denham Springs. This is one of the rivalries that doesn't get talked about much between the two, but I think it's one of the best ones out there. I mean, the schools are both off of Highway 16, just one's north and one's in the south. That's all it is. So yeah, um, Coach Brad Beard, man, I think the world of him as a head coach for Denham Springs. I really do, and he's got this team back on the right path now, moving forward. And Live Oak, it's a good team, but Denham Springs just, to me, wanted it more, and it showed. And you got to give kudos to Denham Springs with that victory. And like we talked about, the district might come down between East Ascension and them. They in the same district, right? East Ascension, Denham Springs. Or am I wrong?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Yeah, yeah. Denham Springs might have something to say about that moving forward, Lamar.
Yeah, every time you face against your rival, that's always a big thing, and it's kind of like what I mentioned earlier about Captain Shreve and Bird. I mean, both of those teams that every single time that it makes it more, it's so much better that when you can beat your rival, you can go 1-9, but if that one win is against your most hated rival, hey, that makes the season all great for everything. And the good thing about Denham Springs right now, they got themselves a little bit of a winning streak going forward here. And so that's going to give them some momentum going forward, coming up to the rest of the way there. I know they got Dutchtown, Prairieville, Walker, and then, of course, Santa Mont coming forward and everything else like that. But to kind of get it to the point, beating one of your rivals, getting morale high and everything. This is the point in the time here that you really want to play your best ball, and that's a good thing there. So getting that win, that's a big thing for them, and congratulations to them there.
Okay. How about Natchitoches Central spoiling homecoming and the debut of the brand new stadium for Opelousas, 34-33 winners over Opelousas. Your thoughts on Natchitoches Central, Lamar?
Well, first off, I want to give a shout out to Harry Coleman over there at Opelousas. I know they're going to get things up and running here. He's a very good coach, especially during my days at Peabody. A great guy here. He's going to get that program up and running. Now, with Natchitoches Central being said here, 3-3 at this point in the season, and I think part of it is that over the last couple of years, it has been really tough for them, mainly because they've gone through different coaches here. James Wilkerson was in his last year in 2022. They had the 1 year of Curtis and everything, and then of course you also have now coming in Brad Laird and everything. It was so tough there for them to probably be able to get there, but now they got some continuity. This team has a solid quarterback in Owen Smith. I feel like that he's an underrated quarterback in the across the state and also in my area and everything. But it's mainly because that he's been a guy that this is his third year being a starter. So now he's gone through the ringer. He knows what to expect and everything, and so he's been able to do something good there. And of course, they got some good receivers around him. They got some decent defenders around him. And so far this season, they've been able to really hold their own in that district where they've been able to score points, but they still trying to find their footing there. But so far, I mean, right now, getting themselves 2 wins in a row. I know they beat Hardin last week, and now they were able to get a chance to get a win against Opelousas. Bird comes to see them in week 7 there, and they have a decent chance, a slim shot of probably even making it to the playoffs here if they can just continue to take care of business there. And so the Chiefs, everything's good, looking good for them right now. And so all they have to do just continue to play with great momentum and going forward there.
Definitely, I agree with Lamar. I was impressed with the way they won this game. in a fought battle with Opelousas, and like Lamar said, Coach Harry Coleman will get that program back to where it's supposed to be. But you know, Natchitoches Central, man, I'm impressed with the win. You know, they, like Lamar said, they've been through a lot with different coaches, and now there's some stability being formed within that program. Head coach is now in his second year, and they're starting to believe in his system and what he's trying to produce over there. So definitely that's a good win for Natchitoches Central.
How about the battle in Baton Rouge this past Friday? Deadlock at 14 entering the fourth quarter. Madison Prep, big fourth quarter to knock off Southern Lab 32-14. Close throughout and put away at the end.
Yeah, when you think about it, Southern Lab had a 14-8 lead with a minute 13 remaining in the third quarter, and then Madison Prep just scores 24 unanswered points to win that game. Landon Johnson from Madison Prep, man, is a big time player, man, and they play him everywhere. We talking about wide receiver, punt returner, put him in at quarterback sometimes. He's a big contributor for them, and even plays in the secondary sometimes. So they use him wherever. That is their key player. So whenever he's on the field, you got to know where he's at. But credit Madison Prep for continuing to fight and just getting that victory, man. That's a hard-fought victory against a good Southern Lab team. Southern Lab now gotta find out what they did wrong in losing that game, being up 14-8. Got to find ways to put the game away.
Feels like Southern Lab, they're gonna roll the rest of the way though.
Yeah.
They then went through their gauntlet.
Yep.
Yeah, Southern Lab is going to be all right, and I think this one of those games there that's going to shape them going forward once they get into that Division 4 select bracket that they have to face against here, and see what they could probably be able to go forward there. So I think they're going to be okay. For Madison Prep, it's pretty much going to be the same thing for them. Good kudos to them for fighting all the way back there. I know in a couple of weeks here they got that big matchup against U-High coming up, and so that's going to be an amazing game between both of those teams there. But Madison Prep is definitely a team that should be on everybody's radar.
Yeah.
All right. We had a trend going, guys. It was North Louisiana, it was South Louisiana. Well, let's go to Lake Charles, Louisiana. Lake Charles College Prep gets payback from a year ago with win over Jennings 43-32. Hard to think Lake Charles College Prep loses the rest of the way.
I don't think they will. I don't think they'll lose another game in regular season play, man. Their offense is just explosive, man. Very explosive. And Jennings has a good defense. So to put up 42 or 43 points on a good 40. Jennings defense says a lot about your offense at Lake Charles College Prep, man. And you got Aiden Carter, the running back, who's just a stud, man, one of the best players in the state. This Lake Charles College Prep team, we said it last year when they lost to Kennedy in the second round, and we saw that majority of everyone was coming back on this team. We sat there and said this team's going to be very, very good next season, and you're seeing it right now. We talk about the first game against Westgate, 5 turnovers. They lost by 8 points. If you don't commit those turnovers, you probably beat Westgate. We talk about the game against last week against Calico New Iberia. If you don't let Calico New Iberia get 3 onside kicks in a row, you win that game. So we easily could be saying that Lake Charles College Prep is an undefeated team, but they're not. But regardless of all that, this is one of the best teams in the state. And Division II Select got to keep an eye out to see where they are in the bracket. But that is a big win against a great Jennings team for Lake Charles College Prep.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree there too. And, it's also nice to kind of see what Prep has been able to do, bounce all the way back, because we know that they have been very explosive team especially when the start of the decade here. I got a chance to see them when they played against Gina and had a big double overtime win there in the quarterfinals there, and they were in the right direction there. I know they had to take their little bit of a step back the last couple of years, but to see them right back there, they have athletes. They've been able to really play pretty well. Like you said, JB, I don't think that they lose any more during the regular season, and so it's going to be interesting to see what they can do in the playoffs. There, it should be some good matchups whenever they have to play against each other. And again, like I said, wherever they fall in the bracket, there is basically going to determine how far they can go there. But that's another team I don't want to see.
I tell you this, I love to see them play Madison Prep in the playoffs. I would love to see it. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Remaining schedule: St. Louis, Westlake, Como, South Beauregard.
Westlake may give them a little challenge. Westlake may give them a little challenge. That's a rivalry game right down I-10. They may give them a little challenge, but I think Lake Charles College Prep wins their last 4 games still.
8-2 find their way into a first round bye.
Definitely, yes.
Because that's a top eight in that bracket get the bye.
Yep.
Bruley ends Donaldsonville's undefeated season so far after holding their offense only to 7, winning this one 21-7.
Yeah, man, you got to credit the Bruley defense for what they did in this game, man. It's a suffocating defensive win for Bruley, you could say. And we talked about Bruley early in the year when they beat Parkview Baptist in the Jamboree, and we were like, wow. And if you saw the video, you was like, wow. And Bruley's one of those teams that's making a statement so far this year that they are a good football team. And
only
they
an 8-point loss to Plaquemine right now.
Say that again?
I said only an 8-point loss to Plaquemine right now. So it's a good loss.
Yeah, definitely a good loss. And it shows that they can compete with some of the best teams in the state, Plaquemine being one. So yeah, this is a team to look out for. Donaldsonville's a good team also. Also, they're going to challenge St. James for the district. I think it's just between those 2 teams. But Bruley to come down here and get a 21-7 win, and it speaks a lot about where this program is going at Bruley.
I definitely agree with that one too. Bruley's been a very solid team there, so I feel like going forward here, they should be an all right team as well. Like I said, a lot of good football being played down there in the Baton Rouge area, and that's just another one of those good teams down there. And so, we'll see what they can definitely do going forward in the playoffs.
Yeah, Acadiana survives a homecoming upset alert from the Barb Bucks. 49-42. Barb wrong side of a lot of shootouts this year.
Oh man, now that you say it, yeah, you are right. Yes. We talk about the Lake Charles College Prep shootout, and we got this one. Oh man, I tell you what though, Barb came to play. Barb came to play. They brought their all in this game. Just turned out a little bit short. Even Acadiana coach had told his team.
They said Barb running back got injured in this one also.
Okay. I didn't know that. But I know Acadiana lost 2 players in this game as well.
Correct.
They lost 2 players.
Any updates?
I don't have any updates. No, it's just from reading a story that they lost 2 players. They lost them both in the first half. But Acadiana's head coach Doug Dotson had told them that this game would be different. He told them that this would be a tough game. Not to take Barb's record take their record lightly. And as you can see, Barb came ready to play, just turned out on the wrong side of the stick on that one with a 7-point loss, Lamar.
Yeah, Jalandon Gray, the quarterback over there at Barb, has definitely done a solid job this season. Another one of those guys that has been consistently in my top performance list every single time I look at the stat lines. He's either doing something passing and running the football, and he's able to been the maestro of these big high key scoring games and everything like that. But I'll also give a shout out to what Acadiana has done so far, and done in turning around their season. This is a team that at one point they were ranked in my top 11 in our rankings there, and then when they had that loss against Ruston, I dropped them out there. And of course, they started off 0-3, and we were kind of thinking, man, what's going on with Acadiana? And I know they had a lot of turnover during the off season and everything, but to kind of right the ship now and to put themselves right back now at 500 at this point here, another team again in that district that you kind of don't want to see. I know them and Karen Crow, that's going to be an interesting game when those two teams play against each other. I know that's going to come up very, very soon in week 10. But right now, Acadiana, I mean, they're back to being what they are, and they're back to being the solid program that they are. And right now, they're getting that momentum. Everybody's fearing the Veer once again with them, and they're going to be an interesting team going forward.
Right now, outside looking in of the power rankings, so got some work to do. Remaining schedule: Lafayette, Southside in week 8, Sam Houston in week 9, and Karen Crow week 10. Right now, the Wrecking Rams outside looking in.
I think those last 4 teams all have winning records, if I'm not mistaken. And if they all got winning records, that's going to help Acadiana for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Moving along, we go to Opelousas. It was the Battle of Opelousas. It was Westminster Opelousas. It was Opelousas Catholic. Opelousas Catholic got to go play at Donald Gardner for the first time this season, break in the new stadium, and what a ball game you had between these two teams. Opelousas Catholic took the lead late. Westminster marched right down the field and set up a potential game winner from the left-footed kicker of Profit, all-state kicker. And the first one, no good, but a penalty flag gave him a retry a little bit closer. And Westminster, I'm going to use VK's saying, Westminster of Opelousas at the gun, walk-off field goal to move to 6-0 on the year. Crusaders right now, 6-0, and I don't know. I don't think anyone can beat them the rest of the way.
I don't know if anyone can beat them the rest of the way as well. I mean, Coach Porter has done a great job with this squad that he has, and I tell you what, that got to be heartbreaking for Opelousas Catholic to know that he missed a field goal, or they missed a field goal. Westminster Christian Academy of Opelousas, they missed a field goal, but then there's a flag, and then he makes the field goal. That got to be heartbreaking to have victory snatched from you just like that. But it happens in the game that we play of football. Mm-hmm. But these are two good teams. They battled it out. Westminster Christian Academy came out on top. And look, a lot of people, including myself, were not talking about them earlier this year. Now you see the teams that they played and have defeated. Now you're like, okay, this may be a team that can wreck some brackets moving forward. Jordan, this could be my South Plaquemines from last year. You never know.
It's a team that could very well be knocking on the doorsteps of the Superdome if they stay healthy.
Yeah.
If they stay healthy, they're going to be trouble for anyone. And if they can lock up the number 1 seed going into the playoffs and you get postseason football rolling through your stadium, could you imagine a semifinal matchup right there at Westminster? That would be incredible.
It would be wonderful. It would be wonderful, and it would be wonderful for that community as well.
Lamar, your thoughts?
Yeah, I definitely agree. These last couple of weeks for Westminster has also been very interesting too, because close wins against Sacred Heart and also Opelousas Catholic, and for them to come out on the right side of that here, that tells us a lot about this team going forward. Like y'all said there, I think they're going to be a team in that Division 4 select bracket that, again, you don't want to get a chance to see. And right now, 6-0. Looking at the rest of their schedule there, I mean, I think they're going to be pretty good all the way through. They have the possibility of being 10-0 there, and nobody should take them lightly. Nobody should take them lightly going forward there. So, kudos to the Crusaders there.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to stay in the Acadiana area. Lafayette Christian Academy cruises past Lafayette Renaissance 48-7 to set up a huge district matchup next week with the Pios.
Well, I can't wait for that matchup next week. To be honest with you, what I'm not shocked by the victory from Lafayette Christian Academy, and I think I said this on the Hash It Out show. There's Lafayette Christian Academy and Lafayette Renaissance is here, but slowly Lafayette Renaissance will catch up to Lafayette Christian Academy in due time, just not in an instant. I think this is their second year of varsity football, so it's going to happen eventually, but they're not there yet. But trust me, it's going to come. Coach Hunter Landry is going to have that ship running on full sail very soon. Just give him some time. But it's going to happen. But Lafayette Christian, this team is it's one of the best teams in the state that I think will be in the Superdome come December. But Lafayette Renaissance, I think they're top 4 in the power ranking still with that loss. So just give Coach Hunter Landry some time. That's going to be a great program very soon.
Number 6, my friend.
Number 6, okay.
Yeah, I definitely agree too. I think I actually got a chance to see Lafayette Renaissance's first game when they came up to play Peabody, and that was actually Coach Coleman's first game at Peabody there. And of course, you know, every new team has to go through the bumps and bruises and everything going forward and everything. But to see where they're at now is very amazing, and the strides that they have taken, I think in year 4.
Okay.
That they have had this program, that definitely says a lot. Not to take anything away from what Lafayette Christian has done, and I think they definitely have been one of my top teams so far this season in the area, and obviously, you know, in the state. Obviously, right now, top 10. They have definitely proved that last year was a rebuilding year. They took their lumps as well. They had to face. They had to face against that adversity. They had younger pieces and everything, but now those guys are know what it takes to play night football over there. And my guy Chop Standiford, he's doing a great job over there, and I love what he's been able to do with them there. Another team that possibly has a chance to probably win the state championship once it gets all said and done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on Westgate shutting out St. Martinville 22-0? St. Martinville on a 3-game skid right now.
I didn't think they would shut them out, but I thought would win by a comfortable margin. That was a comfortable margin for them. Westgate talented. They are a very, very talented team that played a tough 9-district schedule, and then they had the 2 toughest teams in their district already. They played them already early, and that's St. Thomas More and Turling's Catholic. I don't see Westgate losing another game moving forward in the regular season. They'll finish 6-4. And for some reason, Jordan, every year when the playoffs start, we gotta find where Westgate's located for some reason. Where are they in the bracket? Because
they're going up. They're going to upset somebody.
Yeah, exactly. Where are they every year? But that's a talented team. St. Martin's talented as well. I think they're about to bounce back moving forward as well in their district. So I'm gonna keep an eye on St. Martinville. That's what I meant. Not St. Martin, St. Martinville. I think they'll be fine. They just got to get back on the winning track, and once they get back on the winning track, they'll be okay. But Westgate, yeah, we doing the same thing once again. Where will they fall in the brackets once the playoff brackets come out?
Totally agree. I mean, right now they're 2-4, but you know they're not a 2-4. They're not definitely your average standard 2-4 team. This is a team that's been on a lot of wars, and Coach Antoine has done a great job with that program there. And like you said, I think they win their next 4 games pretty comfortably. It is going to be very interesting to see where they end out in that bracket. Again, one of those teams I wouldn't want to face against there, and they definitely can go toe to toe with a lot of teams in their bracket for sure.
I got 2 more real quick for y'all, if that's cool.
Yep.
Number 1, if you want to touch on this, Mandeville gets a big road win over one-loss Covington, 26-9. Your thoughts on that one, real quick?
These are These are two district teams, I believe, and Covington is definitely one of the teams that was going to come up. Mandeville was struggling early in the year, and it looks like they finally are starting to find their footing. And I thought it would have been a closer game. I was kind of shocked by the score. So, Coach Lauren Dean, what up, Coach Lauren Dean? Yes, indeed. Hey, I gotta call you, Coach Lauren Dean. I gotta call you because I want to come to Brother Martin and do something with you. That wouldn't take even 10 minutes, but I'll talk to you, my man. Thank you for tuning in, Coach Lauren Dean. But back to football here. I was kind of shocked by the score. I didn't think it would be the margin of victory that it was. But Mandeville is starting to turn that corner. It looks like getting back to where they were last year when they had Nate Shepard with running back. So Covington gonna be fine, but Mandeville, that was to me a defining win for them this season.
Okay.
Yeah, totally agree on that one here. Mandeville so far this season, hanging around here at 4-2. Still a tough team to play. From what I remember, when Ash had to go up there and play against them a couple of years in the past, a place that you don't want to play at there, and definitely they definitely have a good home field advantage there. So, shout out to them right there. Can't wait to see what they're going to be able to do for the rest of the way there. And like you said here, wherever they're going to be at in the bracket there, that's going to be an interesting out to see who they got to face against there, because they can really give some teams a lot of trouble there.
We figured this next one would be considered winner of this one sets up a district title game down the road with Iowa. So who would it be? Would it be DeRidder or would it be Eunice? Who would win? Who would go set up that district title game with Iowa? Well, it came down to a 2-point conversion, and DeRidder stops Eunice game-winning 2-point conversion attempt to win it 13-12 at home.
Yeah,
I'm not.
Iowa DeRidder week 10.
Oh man, I'm not gonna lie to you. When I looked it up to see who won, and I saw DeRidder stop Eunice on a 2-point conversion, I was like, wow. I didn't have DeRidder winning this game. I had Eunice, but that's why we played a game. So big time win for DeRidder, and credit them, man, for finding a way to win and having their defense be able to stop them on the most important possession of the game for Eunice.
And JB, I don't know if they stopped him. I think he just dropped it.
Oh, okay.
If you haven't watched the video, I think he just dropped the wide open catch in the end zone.
Okay. Dropped it.
You have to go watch the video and determine it yourself.
Gotcha. Well, okay. So, but I'm gonna credit DeRidder with the win, man, and we'll see what happens moving forward when they play Iowa.
Mr. Andre Vest, I know you're watching right now. Iowa DeRidder, I have it marked down as a week 10 Thursday night. Could you clarify if it's a Friday or a Thursday? Go ahead, Lamar.
All right, so yeah, DeRidder, good win for them. Grant Cooper with 17 tackles in the matchup, and also he had a rushing touchdown. And so this is a good DeRidder team that we don't get a chance to see them a lot often there, but they are a throwback team. They love to run the ball. They love to play hard-nosed defense. Coach Parmley, that's just the type of guy that he has been able to have, how he's been once he was a player, and same way as a coach and everything. And DeRidder's going to be a very tough team going forward there. Now, obviously, that week 7 matchup with them and Leesville, that's going to be a good matchup there. Leesville 1-5. I know that they have been through some tough times so far, but that is a game to get up for. That matchup between them and DeRidder, that's one of those games there that they get up for, that one there. So I can't wait to see who takes that one there. But if DeRidder takes care of business right there, then that week 10 matchup with them against Iowa is going to be a doozy there. Not saying that they probably could stop them, but I think that they have a good chance of really keeping it close against them there.
Mr. Andre Vest, you're killing me. I already got a game scheduled for that week 10, and I think Mr. Lamar knows where we're headed on that Thursday.
Oh yeah.
It's cat skin night, baby.
Oh man, I'm glad that that's a Thursday game. To be honest with you, so I'm excited about that. That's definitely one I'm looking forward to in week 10. And honestly, that week 8 matchup, I'll be down there at the Grove too for that one. So you
I'll
get
see
the
you there too.
double.
I'll see you
Yeah.
there too. Some good gumbo in the Grove.
Yes, sir.
All right, real quick, I'm gonna give you one team from each division right now that is undefeated. Okay, makes sense. It doesn't have to be every team that's undefeated in the state of Louisiana. I'm just gonna choose one team that's undefeated in each division, and I would love to know your thoughts on them and their start to the season. Cool.
Yep.
All right, I'm starting with Division 4 Select. Your thoughts on Hamilton Christian 5-0 start out the gate.
Very legit team. Legit. Jason Vital, one of the best players in the state, wanted by many schools. He's leading the way for that team. Hamilton Christian's the real deal.
Yeah, definitely agree. Vitals definitely has plays his lights out right now. Seeing the stat lines that he's been able to do, he's the heart and soul for this Hamilton Christian team. Another team that you don't want to play against play in the playoffs. They're going to give some team fits for sure.
Thoughts on Division 3 Select. Give me your thoughts on Bunkie 6-0 start. We start with you, Lamar.
All right. Bunkie has a good team right now. And of course, a lot of people were kind of wondering what was going to happen here once they lost Kyle Johnson to Mississippi State and Dylan Compton to Southern. Well, pretty much the same thing going forward here. Zion Lee is a guy that, from what I've seen on the runs and that he's been able to have, the guy just looks like a college player facing against grown men out there. Definitely has been able to run the ball very solid. He had 6 touchdowns in their week 5 matchup against Winfield. They also have some guys like Ron Patterson that's been able to become a very good cornerback. And of course, they also have their linebacking core and Lucas Mose and everything that they're able to play a very solid matchup. So I like what Bunkie's been able to do. Coach Hillman's doing a great job over there, and I think they're going to be all right.
I'll keep it quick. Lamar said most of everything. I'm not shocked by Bunkie being 6-0. I'm not shocked. So keep going, Bunkie.
Division 2 Select. Your thoughts on the 6-0 start from LaLoya Prep.
Bryce Reshovich, their quarterback down there, another guy that's been putting up a lot of great stats. I think he had a 7-touchdown game a week ago here, and he's definitely been a guy that has been able to do a solid job for them. Anytime you have a quarterback that can be able to keep you in ball games like that, they probably will fit right in with that 1-5A district, but they can score a lot of points there, and he gives them a good chance to win. I like what Loyola's been able to do there. I know they're probably going to get tested a little bit against Northwood and North DeSoto, but they're going to be all right going forward.
Yeah, I got my eyes on this team. I'm looking at their schedule right now. Saying they defeated Logansport, St. Frederick, Southwood, Creek, Menden, and Bossier. I think a lot more will be said about this team come week 9 when they play North DeSoto. So we'll see how they fare up come week 9, Halloween night. But right now, 6-0 says a lot. Some people may say, well, they haven't played nobody. I don't care. 6-0 says a lot right now, and we'll get more answers come week 9.
Moving along to Division 1 Select. Your thoughts on Turling's 6-0 start.
Oh yeah, Turling's Catholic. New head coach implementing what he wants done, and they have listened and they have bought in. Turling's looks like a real good team. They got a lot of fight in them, especially with the comeback win against Notre Dame. So Turling's is a real legit team, and this may be the year. It may be the year that they get the victory over St. Thomas More. We will see. But this is a real good team in Turling's Catholic.
Yeah, definitely agree. That Turling's STM matchup should be a very solid game. But right now, I mean, man, I got them in my top 5 in my state rankings there, and they've just continued to keep on creeping up, mainly because they're just doing the number one thing that we always ask teams to do: win ball games, and that's a good thing there. They really bought what coach has done so far this season. So kudos to them, to the Rebels over there.
Division 4 non-select. Your thoughts on the 6-0 start from Generette?
Oh yeah. Look. I've seen some clips of this team against some of the teams they have played. This looks like a very, very good team, and keep your eye out for them in Division 4 non-select. You know, you got the Haynesville, Logansport, Mangum, South Plaquemines. Watch out for this team, Generette, as well.
Definitely agree on that one too. Generet's been a solid team so far this season. Like you said, 6-0 at this point here. Again, they're going to give a tough team some fits there going forward into the playoffs. They've had some good players and everything else like that. So can't wait to see what they're able to do going forward in the Division 4 non-select bracket.
Division 3 non-select. Your thoughts on Kinder 6-0 start?
Kinder is a very, very well respected team, but this 6-0 start in Division 3 non-select is saying that, hey, we're still here and we're looking to be here throughout the whole regular season and postseason. So Kinder's a real, real good team, 6-0. It's very, very legit. Watch out for them.
Yeah, definitely would say the same thing there. Kendra's definitely been one of the teams to beat there in that district, that 5-2-8 district. They got a big one against Menard coming up in week 8, and that's going to be at the Eagles' Nest there. And I know the Eagles are going to be ready for that game there to see what they are able to do there. But, you know, they know that they have to go through Kinder if they really want to try to win themselves that district. And so far, Kinder's been that top team that a lot of people, especially what Menard is looking forward to, and also what Vols is looking forward to in that one. So can't wait to see what the Yellow Jackets got going forward.
Division 2 non-select. Your thoughts on 6-0 start from Belle Chase?
Belle Chase. Great start. We're gonna really see what Belle Chase is made of come week 8 and week 9 when they play St. Charles Catholic and Archbishop Shaw. That's going to be their biggest test, and we're going to learn a lot about them on those 2 dates.
Yeah, agreed on that one. Those 2 games are going to be very tough games there for them. How they perform there is probably going to see what their standing is going forward into the playoffs there. So far, 6-0 start. I mean, you know, that's a good start for everybody there. But those 2 games are going to tell us a lot about what they have going forward.
Finally, Division 1 non-select. Talked about them earlier, but your thoughts on Parkway's 6-0 start, because there's only 2 teams that are undefeated in that division. So let's talk Parkway.
I'm
Parkway.
feeling. Go ahead, Lamar. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I was about to say Parkway's been able to play very solid. I like what Coach Coy has been able to do. I got a chance to see them when they came down here to Alexandria a few years ago, and they had a good running back then, and he's continuing to do a very solid job there. Some good matchups coming up forward there for them, because obviously you're looking at that Evangel game in week 10, but also Captain Shreve's a good team in week 8, and that's another one there that they cannot overlook that matchup there. And so you know, Parkway's doing a very solid job. Can't wait to see what they have going for it. And like I said, I got them on my radar right now for sure.
Yeah, definitely what Lamar says. I agree with him on that one. Like I said earlier, I like what Coach Coy has done with this program since he's taken over it. But yeah, I want to see those 2 matchups against Captain Shreve and Evangel, and let's see what they do with that moving on from there.
Okay. Top 3 matchups in your area for week 7. Who are they?
Go ahead, Lamar. You can go.
All right. I'll go ahead and say, I think, well, one of them, I know Alexandria and Pineville. I know this has been a rivalry that has been dominated by Alexandria these last couple of years, but it's still one of the biggest rivalries in the area. So, of course, Pineville's going to get up for that one there, and Ash is also going to be up for that one. So that's going to be a good game. Another one that I'm ready to look forward to is going to be that Avoyelles Menard game. Hard hitting. If you like hard hitting defense, schematic football, that this is your game right there. I know Massey ratings for entertainment purposes only gives you lines and also gives you like over unders and everything. And I think last year's game was like a 27-point thing. And I will always say, take the under in this one because those two teams, they're not scoring points for you. This is going to be a good defensive matchup. And then I will also say the Bunkie Buckeye game. I think that's going to be a very solid game too. Buckeye, this is a team that can really hang with Bunkie. I think Bunkie has a good solid chance of winning there, but they can't get caught falling asleep and looking ahead to that week 8 matchup against Gina because this Buckeye team, they can wreck everything possibly here with their defense and also with the way that they play ball. And also Coach York got himself a very solid coaching abilities and everything. So those are the three that I have here for Central Louisiana.
Okay, we got
Go ahead, JB.
got a few games out here in the New Orleans area. I want to start with this one: John Curtis versus Brother Martin. John Curtis looking to stay undefeated and looking to play Edna Carr for that district championship pretty much, maybe week 9. St. Aug may have something to say about that week 10 when they play John Curtis. We'll see. But Brother Martin, can their offense get going again? Only averaging how can I say this? I'm trying to think, get my math right. 10.5 points a game the past 2 games. So and they are a very explosive offense. So I want to see if their offense could get going again against a good John Curtis defense. Mandeville at Hammond. So this is going to be a great ball game. Hammond, up and coming team, much improved from the past 2 years. And Mandeville looking to find their stride. So that's one. And the other one is a big district matchup. Saturday night, 7 o'clock. St. Augustine going to play Archbishop Rummel. Can that Rummel defense be stout against that St. Augustine Purple Knights explosive offense? Those are the questions to be answered.
Okay. Top 3 matchups here locally for myself. I'm going to start off with Church Point at Northwest this week. That one's going to probably decide the district championship. I'm going to go St. Ed's at Sacred Heart. It's good old hate week between the two schools that don't like each other. And then I'm going LCA and Notre Dame. That's my top 3.
Awesome.
Most intriguing matchup around the state of Louisiana in week 7. Who is it?
Most intriguing matchup, week 7.
I wrote down like 4, but I'm trying to narrow it down to 1.
Man. I'm looking at a few right now. I know I looked at this earlier when I saw your list. I'm going to say this one. Most intriguing matchup to me, I'm going to go to the Baton Rouge area.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to Baton Rouge area, and I'm looking at Dutchtown at Denham Springs.
Okay. I thought you were going to other Baton Rouge area, but that's a good one too.
Thank you. I know which one you're talking about. I know when you're talking about other Baton Rouge, but no, I'm more intrigued in this Dutchtown Denham Springs game.
Okay. Lamar, what you got?
I talked about it earlier. I think I'm going to go ahead and say Tioga hosting West Washita. We're going to find out here if Tioga is definitely for real and if they can be one of the top 2 teams in that district by playing against a very solid West Washita team. They got them there at the reservation. It's a home matchup. And so I can already imagine that Tioga is going to be ready for that game there. But like I say, if they win that game going forward, and of course you have your Central Louisiana teams that they have to face against Peabody and Grant going forward, that Week 10 matchup between them and Franklin Parish will be very, very special there, and it will definitely be for a district championship there. So I definitely would have to say Tioga and West Washita for me.
Okay. I could take the easy way out here, JB, and say Catholic and Central,
I know.
but I'm gonna go to North Louisiana. I'm gonna go 5-1 versus 5-1.
Oh yeah.
And I'm going Mangum and Oak Grove battle this week.
That's gonna be a good one. That's gonna be a good one. Oh yeah.
I want to see what happens when these two teams clash on Friday. All right, final words as we put a bow on week 6 and we get ready for a much anticipated week 7, JB.
Final words. Thank y'all for joining us tonight. We truly appreciate it. The season has flown by so fast, but we still have a lot of football left to be played. Go out and support these youngsters that are playing every week. If you can't go out and support them in person, you got Under the Lights game of the week with my man Jordan right there. You got the Hash It Out Show games of the week you can watch. And there's other platforms as well, 446, other platforms that you can watch games, high school football games in Louisiana on. So, just continue to support these kids. It means a lot to them personally. I promise you, man. It's so many kids I've talked to, and they said that how they don't have family members in the stands watching them, that they wish they can watch them. Go out and support these kids. It means a lot to them. I promise you.
Lamar, final words as we close this one out.
I definitely will say the same thing what JB said. Go out, support the kids, everything else like that. I mean, you guys do a great job. I get a chance to listen to y'all's games all the way through. I think I was watching that Delcrum game against Vinton, and that was a very, very good game that I was very excited for. Y'all made me feel like I was in the game there. But like I said, watch the games. If you can't go to the games, watch all these streaming services. I know Louisiana Sportsline has a lot of those, and just continue to do that. And also thank you guys for having me on as a part of this as well. What you guys do is an amazing job there, and like I said, man, thank you all so much, and for having us, and I hope to do this again.
Definitely, man. Definitely. You're welcome, brother. Anytime.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks everyone for tuning in here on a Sunday afternoon. Go get your NFL fix in now, or get ready for a much anticipated Week 7 high school football. From myself, Jordan Taylor, this is JB, the sports guy, and this is Lamar from Cenla area. Lamar, tell them where they can find you as we get out of here.
All right, so you can find me on CenlaPreps.com. So you can find my Central Louisiana writings on there. And you can also find my sporting news stuff on there on the sportingnews.com. We definitely have a lot of things here for Louisiana, talking about some of the top games, rankings, also some of the top players. And we also do an athlete of the week voting. We're only going to get bigger and better going forward here. And it's with you guys to support that we can continue to do that. So support those two ventures right there.
Lamar, I'll see you Week 8, my friend, in the Grove.
Absolutely, I can't wait. I'll save some food for you. All right.
You know they gonna have plenty for me and
Absolutely.
you to take 3 plates home.
There we go.
You catch JB and the guys Tuesday and Wednesday 7 to 8:30. You can catch us on Wednesday nights 8:30 to 11. And then JB, you're announcing games for this week or not yet?
I'll do it. Friday night, the Hash It Out Show Friday night game of the week. We have Mandeville traveling to Hammond, and then the Hash It Out Show Saturday afternoon game of the week, 3:00 p.m. That will be Young Audience Charter School taking on Thomas Jefferson.
Good. Well, I'm excited to see that Friday matchup for sure. Hammond, is this the first time y'all get the tours on the docket?
Yes, first time going to Hammond.
Good. I'm excited to see that one on the Friday. Safe travels as always to both of you guys. Thanks everyone for the continued support, and we'll see you again next Sunday at 6:15. Thursday night it will be Livonia at Opelousas for Under the Lights, and then Friday it will be Grand Lake at Basile for Under the Lights. So I love being able to go show off those small town football teams because they deserve the love also.
Without a doubt.
Good night for now, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you again next week. Enjoy the rest of your week.